First Pete Carroll, now Kalen DeBoer. We learned the Seahawks would be moving away from Pete Carroll as head coach on Tuesday. Now today, we learned Kalen DeBoer will be leaving the University of Washington to take the coaching job at Alabama. Nick Saban announced his retirement earlier this week. DeBoer led Washington to the national championship game Monday in only his second year in Washington. Several key players from the Husky program are now entering the NFL draft, and others are entering the transfer portal with the news of DeBoer's departure from Washington. Overshadowed by the coaching news in Seattle this week has been the play of the Seattle Kraken. Seattle tied a franchise record with its 8th straight win last night with a 4-1 decision at Washington. Joey DeCord continued his incredible play, stopping 25 of 26 shots he faced.
Connor McMichael. Anthony Mantha off the skate of McMichael. Fan down, and now a turnover. McMichael stopped by DeCord a couple of times in tight. By Adam Larson, a spring pass. Jared McCann through the middle to the outside. Cartier, his shot, scores! Ty Cartier with a bullet. 11:10 left to go in the opening period. The Kraken off and running. Evgeny Kuznetsov, a stretch pass. Short hops by DeCord. Look out, Oshie. What a stop again. Joey DeCord. Wenberg through center with a shot. They score! Alexander Wenberg. He'll keep his ball rolling right along. A $1:48 left to go in this first period. Van Riemsdyk for Ovechkin. To the slot, Strome. Pacioretty scores! Max Pacioretty has his first goal as a Washington Capital.
I'm just speaking from experience. Something must have happened a little bit earlier in this game for McCann to go ahead and take a real solid piece of.
Johnny Gord, they score! Justin Schultz on the follow-up. Jensen goes up on the rush from his defense position. Now it's carried out by Larson. Moved along for Tanev. Larson right in. What a goal! Hey, what do you say? Big Cat, Adam Larson. That's Kraken hockey, baby. They surround Joey DeCord. Tonight, it's a 4-1 win over the Washington Capitals.
DeCord was asked if the winning streak is a result of changes the Kraken have made in their game plan.
Not necessarily. I think our blueprint's always been there. We're just executing it better, and I think we're just working our ass off. You know, it's really fun to watch. Even I think the last shift of the game when it was 4-1 and there was a minute or two left just epitomizes our group. And I think it was Gordo's line with Gordo, Tolvi, and Bjorky, and they just hemmed him in the whole shift. And there's a minute left. It's 4-1. Like, they could have just dumped it in and got off, and they just kept working and working and working. And that's indicative of the the culture and the work ethic of our group. So that was a lot of fun to see that.
Our game got better as the game went along. The pace of our game, which helped us really become better defensively. In the first period, a lot of the opportunities that they had came off of our tape. And that's what they do. They capitalize on mistakes to put you under a little bit of pressure. Our game got better. We got cleaner with the puck. The pace of our game and the way we checked, improved throughout the game. We got a great save at the right time, and we had, a number of guys contributing on the offensive side of the sheet. So that's been the formula. I still maintain the defensive side of our game is what's most important. Everything starts off of that. Even look at some of the offense that we generated tonight. A lot of that comes out of our D zone and how we get up ice, and then it comes down to individual plays and ability on the guys' part.
Seattle continues their 6-game road trip in Columbus tomorrow at 4 o'clock on Root Sports Northwest. Well, a troublesome season continues for the Gonzaga men's basketball team. The unranked Santa Clara team made a last-minute bucket to knock off the 23rd rated Bulldogs last night in California.
First one no good. He missed the front end. Santa Clara could win it with a basket. Ball, drives, ball, good! With the foul! Ball didn't make it. Watson. 2 seconds. Watson had nowhere to go with the ball. He threw it away.
Washington beat Arizona State last night 82-67 behind the 24 points from Xavier Wheeler and 22 from Keon Brooks. WSU was hosting 8th-ranked Arizona today in Pullman. Washington visits UCLA tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. That'll be on the Pac-12 network. Eastern Washington visits Idaho at 4 on ESPN+. Gonzaga women were able to defend the home court last night, downing Santa Clara 87-49. On the women's schedule tomorrow, Eastern Washington visits Idaho at 1. Gonzaga hosts San Diego at 2. Both those games are available on ESPN+. Washington State plays at Washington Sunday at noon. Well, the wild card round of the NFL playoffs will be played over the next 3 days, starting tomorrow. The Browns visit the Texans at 1:30 on NBC. Kansas City hosts Miami at 5 on the Peacock Network. Sunday's 3-game schedule starts at 10 a.m. on CBS with Buffalo hosting Pittsburgh. Green Bay visits Dallas at 1:30 on Fox. The Rams play the Lions in Detroit at 5 on NBC. Wild card weekend wraps up Monday at 5 on ESPN with Philadelphia playing at Tampa Bay. We featured Big 9 Wrestling last night on the NCWLIFE Channel as Wenatchee hosted Moses Lake. Once the Mavericks team bus finally arrived at the high school an hour late, Moses Lake won 5 of 9 contested matches for the 49-24 victory. I had the call on the stream last night on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Anderson looking for a possible far side cradle here as he does get his hands locked up, and now he'll put a knee in his back and tip him towards him. And this is always tough for the official to see the other shoulder to see if he's got him pinned or not. And he is pinned with 48 seconds left in round number 3. Now he's got the far side cradle in, puts his knee in his back, tips him up, looking for the pin, and he's got it. 19 seconds into the 3rd round. Win by pin for Jack Gutzweiler. Skylerman looking for the tip here, looking for a pin, and he got it. How about 35 seconds into the match? Lamb needs to try to stay for 10 more seconds alive in this round. And no, he won't do it. Huntley gets the surprising pin over Logan Lamb here. Flugie working on top. And a little attempt at a Granby roll by Anderson underneath, but no. There you go. In overtime. Now I think we could say it. Luke Flugie with the win, 3-1. 7-2 our score. Quickly a takedown and near fall points coming up for Hernandez as well. He's got that half in deep. In fact, he's got him cradle up and might be able to finish the match right here. He does. 5 seconds left. 4-3-2, and that will be the match. Final score is 9-3 in favor of Drayden Gator. So 9-3 the final score in the match. 49-24 is our final match score here this evening.
The match will air on TV tonight at 7 o'clock. Other action last night, Eastmont knocked off West Valley 45-20. Grandview edged Ephrata at 43-31. Kashmir swept its double duel, downing Omak and Cascade. Quincy beat Cascade and then fell to Omak. In wrestling action coming up tomorrow, Eastmont heads to Ellensburg for the Ray Westberg Invite. That'll be at 9 a.m. Ephrata will be at Post Falls, Idaho for a tournament. Wenatchee is west of the mountains for the Marysville-Pilchuck Premier at 9:30. 16 teams will gather for the Tonasket Invite starting tomorrow morning at 10. Eastmont and Wenatchee were victorious in girls bowling yesterday. They battled the snow to head south. Wildcats swept Sela 4-zip. Wenatchee battled for a 3-1 win at Eisenhower. Moses Lake came up short at home, falling to West Valley 4-0. It was a light night in prep basketball on Thursday. Looking at the Les Schwab scoreboard, the Tonasket girls down Manson while Pateras stopped Entiat. On the boys' floor last night, Manson topped Tonasket while Entiat edged Pateras. Now, coming up tonight at 6 o'clock for the girls, Oroville hosts Lake Roosevelt. Bridgeport visits Brewster. Entiat travels to Wilson Creek. For the larger schools tonight, Eastmont visits West Valley at 5:30, while Wenatchee visits Sunnyside. Chelan hosts Omak at 5:45, while Kashmir is at Cascade. Boys' schedule tonight includes Bridgeport at Brewster at 7:30, while Lake Roosevelt's at Oroville and Wilson Creek host Entiat. Earlier in the evening, West Valley's hosting Eastmont at 7, while Wenatchee's on the road at Sunnyside. The 7:15 games have Omak at Chelan and Cascade hosting Kashmir. The girls' schedule Saturday begins at 2:30, with Lake Roosevelt hosting Liberty Spangle. Tonaskett's at Chelan at 5:45. Okanagan hosts Liberty Bell at 6, while Omak is at Brewster. Quincy girls are at Royal at 3:30, while Kashmir hosts Wapato. NCWLIFE will broadcast Moses Lake and Eastmont tomorrow at 4:30. Wenatchee is set to host Eisenhower, also at 4:30. Boys basketball tomorrow. Liberty Spangle visits Lake Roosevelt at 4. Chelan hosts Tonasket at 7:15. Liberty Bell visits Okanagan at 7:30, while Brewster hosts Omak. Also Saturday, Quincy visits Royal at 5, while Kashmir is hosting Wapato. We'll have Eastmont and Moses Lake at 6 here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Wenatchee will host Eisenhower also at 6 o'clock. Not to be forgotten, the Wenatchee Wild wrap up the weekend Sunday in the Wolves' Den. Wenatchee will play host to Everett at 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon in a matinee at the Town Toyota Center. For tickets, go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great weekend.